Well, again, tonight, just have a moment of silence for retired fire chief Jack Cutter, who passed away, and lovely service provided by the firemen this past week. I knew Jack well. I worked with him 2 years on the council. He was always very fair to me when we did negotiations, and he was liked by all people, and he will be missed. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City clerk, do the roll call for the city council meeting of April 25th, 2016.
Councilor Tontar.
Present.
Councilor Vogel.
Present.
Councilor Z.
Present.
Councilor Cameron.
Present.
Councilor Connell.
Present.
Councilor Cronin.
Present.
Councilor Devlin.
Present.
Councilor Earl.
Present.
Councilor Eigenman.
Here.
Councilor Junta.
Present.
Council President O'Brien.
Here.
All present.
Notified item.
Councils will see on their desk, in addition to the mayor's update, there's a resolution submitted by Councilor Cronin. There is also an explanatory letter that is to be attached to ordinance number 9. That's it.
Motion to waive the rules and accept the waive file items.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Before we give public comment, I would just like to ask the marshal to introduce what we're going to have. We're going to have ward sergeants and lieutenants. We with our ward councils 1 through 6. If you can introduce them to the public, if you could do that now, and if they can come to, so the people can at home can see who they are.
Safest place. We had a meeting tonight. The sergeants and the lieutenant met the ward counselors, and it's going to be a program we're introducing. It's called the Sergeant Liaison Program for the city. Sergeant Greg Whitney, Sergeant Jason Cohen, Sergeant Howard Adams, Sergeant Charles Eaton, Sergeant William Steves, and Lieutenant Matt Simons. There's 6 ward officers that will be working along with you guys. So hopefully it'll be a successful program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you, Marshal.
Ryan Greenberg.
Hi, I'm Brian Greenberg, and I'm going to introduce myself as a potential appointee to the Newburyport Commission on Disabilities. I work in the field of disabilities. I transcribe college lectures for students with hearing disability, and I worked for 26 years at AARP in Washington, D.C., where I adapted programs to meet the needs of people with disabilities. And I feel the main skills I would bring to the commission would be my communication skills, writing skills, and training skills. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Dr. Sam Marabi.
Hi, I'm Sam Marabi. Some of you might know me. I'm presenting for a potential appointment for the Board of Health. I have, in addition to a dental degree, a master's in public health, and am a member of the American Public Health Association as well as the American Dental Association. And I do extensive surveillance for health internationally with Safe Water International. I have extensive water safety surveillance in sub-Saharan Africa. So I know that's part of the position. Beyond that, just excited about the position. I believe you have my CV. I don't want to take up too much time. Thank you. Appreciate the nomination.
Thank you for coming back. Mayor's comment.
Good evening, councilors, council president. Quick update tonight, that you have in front of you, the intermodal facility garage, in a response to your request to establish an intermodal advisor group that has been scheduled or set up. The first meeting is scheduled for May 3rd from 7 to 8 in City Hall as an introductory meeting in the Mayor's Conference Room. Andy Port and myself will be co-chairs of the meeting. The councilors will be Councilor Cronin, Ward 3, Councilor Eigenman, Ward 2, Resident James Poulin, John Lenz, Resident Pam Ketchum, Jenny Aramo, Christopher Ferriello, Gail Cray, Stephanie Vincent, John Bell, and Ann Ormond has agreed to be the rep from the Chamber of Commerce. Some of you heard this at the Budget and Finance meeting Thursday night, but I know there was some confusion out there with the RTA and other organizations looking at the $14 billion capital investment program that's basically to fund all of the capital needs and transit improvements by Mass DOT. And we were looking deep into the massive document for the Newburyport Intermodal Facility, and it wasn't there. So we all were getting a little concerned about where our $5 million was for the garage. So I wrote to a high-level official at Mass DOT and was informed last week that the project is listed as underway, which means that the funding has already been earmarked for the project, so it doesn't need to be part of that capital plan. And Mr. Mueller recommended that we meet at the end of May so that we can establish access to the $5 million, and that will be occurring at the end of May. But this is a very important and the first of its kind in terms of integrating transit in all the roads and bridge state needs in this massive $14 billion five-year plan. And I listed the website for you to go and look at this plan. The closest public hearing to us will be held on May 11th at 6 o'clock in the Public Safety Center at 32 Main Street in Andover, and I would encourage as many councilors to attend and advocate for these projects that are needed across the state. And you'll look at things that are also part of the region. We don't have specific projects in the capital plan because our rail trail is funded by the TIP and is already all set. And then, of course, we've got this massive Whittier Bridge project, and with the shared use path, again, our funding is all set for that, and now the intermodal facility. But that doesn't mean that there aren't regional initiatives that I would encourage you to weigh in on. Finance, the FY17 budget, we've been working for many, many months on this. My last update, I talked to you about basically a pretty significant gap on both the school sides and the city budget. We've been able to close that gap. Last week, the House budget dropped, which gave a bump up of $83,000 to Chapter 70 funding. However, 57 of that goes to the charter school. But we have been able to close the gap in both budgets. We've worked very closely. We had an extensive FinCom meeting last week and have been able to identify the top tier items that are important to the schools. We will be presenting a public hearing tomorrow night where the superintendent will be presenting the budget. It's at 6:30 in room 118 at the high school, and would encourage all of you to attend that meeting. We had a report from the Lansing Heath last week, who completed our annual audit, and one of their responses was that it was the best Newburyport audit. It was the best audit that Newburyport has had in years. And part of that is because we had been dealing with a material weakness in terms of the reconciliation of a particular account between the auditor and the treasurer's office, and that's taken us multiple years to be able to resolve that. And I am so happy to report that we have no material weaknesses, and that it took a tremendous amount of work and effort on the part of staff from the treasurer's office and the auditor's office, and especially to our finance director, Ethan Manning, and I am very proud of the work that our teams have done to bring us this exceptional audit. So thank you all. The results of the audit are on the website, and I believe Ethan has put copies of the report in your boxes. Quick update on Graf Road and Hale Street sewer projects. The bid for the force mains came in under budget, which is always a good thing. In Renassi and Sons will be awarded the contract. Those negotiations are in process. A little more detail about that project. We anticipate the lift station to be going out to bid in July. Beta Engineering is finishing design on that. I just also wanted to take a moment and recognize Youth Services, Anna Jake's Hospital, and our school district for an incredible month of informational sessions and activities that they have provided across the city to inform our community about addiction prevention, intervention, and recovery. And yesterday at the Senior Community Center, Steve and Kim Keene, who are just an incredible couple, who have pulled together this Pelican Fund to raise funding to help to support opioid and heroin addicts through this 12-step program, which has been incredibly successful. And we're very fortunate to have such generous people in our community. Colby Property, we have an opportunity to apply for the same grant program that gave us our new canine, and they would fund a complete dog park, build it, pay for everything at Colby Farm, and we'd like to pursue that. But again, we need a little input on what we should do with this property. I spoke to the ward councilor, Larry Junter, and we'd like to meet with at least the immediate abutters, but would certainly appreciate some feedback from the rest of the councilors. This doesn't have to be long-term, but at this point that we're not going to be building any more fields, it's going to be sitting for a long time, so why not do something with it that would benefit the rest of the residents. We know we certainly have a large dog owner population here. A couple orders I just wanted to point out. The DPS points out to us that we're losing about 80 trees a year on city property, and we're only being able to replace about 50% of those. Have added additional money in the FY17 budget for trees, but I would ask you to support Councilor Connell's order that we move a little more aggressively in replacing the trees when they do have to be taken down. Also would like to offer support for Councilor Cronin and Councilor Junta's order on the Veterans Park at Brown Square. My thanks to Dan Raycroft and our Veteran Services Officer, Kevin Hunt, who came up with the idea of having people buy a brick for $100 that would be placed in the Veterans Park, and that money would go right back into helping to upgrade and upkeep all our memorials to recognize the amazing veterans that we've had in our community. Capital Improvement Plan, my thanks for your support on many of those projects. I know that one that you're waiting for additional information on is the PA system for City Hall, and we are looking at access for people with issues with hearing loss. We know that we put a loop system in the Senior Community Center, and we're trying to reach out to that same vendor to get that additional information so that we can present you with updated plan. The all hazards plan, that was the resolution that was on your desk from me. I apologize that it had to come in as a late file. However, we did not get approval of this 420-page document from FEMA until after the City Council agenda was due. This is a very important document that is updated every 5 years. We had done our own previously, but unfortunately it had lapsed, and then found out that the Merrimack Valley Regional Planning Commission pulls all the regional areas, all the regional communities together and creates one all hazards plan, which has been very, very well received and documented. So we have a section in there, actually several sections in there. I gave you a couple charts just to give you an example of the kind of things that are in it. There is a link in the letter that accompanies the information I gave you, and you can see the full report online, or I believe the city clerk is going to push you the PDF. I think it will go through our firewall. But please don't ask us to print a 420-page document. Thank you. But we're asking for an expedited review only because we've worked on this for 2 years. It was led by John Eric White, our city engineer, with a lot of input from staff. And we have an opportunity to apply for another flood study with Newbury to deal with the Little River and Artichoke and all the flooding that's happening down around the business park. And so we would need to have that resolution signed in order for us to apply for the grant. In-street fountain, I know that this will be a great relief to all the abutters around the in-street fountain, but the construction is winding down, and would ask that you please mark your calendars for Saturday, June 4th for the ribbon cutting, and we also will be doing a cultural district event, festival, music, kids stuff, you know, one of the kinds of fun events we have downtown to celebrate. I also neglected to submit the new building commissioner's request for an appointment because it does need to be approved by you, and I apologize that it just sort of slipped both of our minds as we were putting together the agenda, but it will be in your packet for the next meeting. We had a unanimous approval of Peter Bennett for the promotion from building inspector to building commissioner. It is also my pleasure to introduce Patricia Moore, Patty, who is sitting behind me, who is will be starting officially on Wednesday as the new Chief Administrative Officer for the Mayor's Office, and really pleased to have her on board. So, thank you, Patty, and welcome. And finally, I just wanted to mention that this weekend we kick off the Literary Festival, and a very interesting event starts at 4 o'clock where former Secretary of State and Senator from Maine, George Mitchell, will be discussing his book, The Negotiator, and then the full event kicks off with a tribute to Edna St. Millay, who was Vincent Millay, who was a resident here in Newburyport on Lime Street for a period of time, and we'll be honoring her at the festival this year. And I understand our reporter Dyke will be doing some interviewing during this event, so enjoy this weekend festival. And also don't forget that we have the tall ship coming in on Memorial Day weekend to mark your calendar for that too. And I will let you know more about those events as more details become available. Questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Move on to consent agenda.
The consent agenda this evening consists of the approval of the minutes for April 11, 2016. There's one transfer number 10, that's health insurance, $251,801. To salary accounts, there's an accompanying memo that's to be referred to Budget and Finance. There are 3 communications. First communication number 46, with respect to dates for Yankee homecoming submitted by the chairman. That's to go to Public Safety. Communication number 47 is a Middle Street Foods application for outdoor seating. That's to go to License and Permits. And communication number 48 is the Yankee homecoming race application with accompanying material. That again goes to Public Safety. There's 2 first reading of appointments. The first, appointment number 32, is Brian Greenberg, 29 Lafayette Street, to the Disabilities Commission. And next is appointment number 33, Dr. Sam Marabi, 7 Brown Square, Newburyport, to the Board of Health. And that's the consent agenda this evening.
Anyone wish to approve any amendments? Anything to take out? What's the wish of the council?
Motion approved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to the regular agenda. First thing is the mayor's update.
Motion to receive and file.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Appointments?
Appointments. There's a second reading of an appointment number 31 to Gregory F. Whitney of 7 Gardner Street, Aintree, Mass., to Police Sergeant.
Motion approved.
Second. Roll call?
The roll call of the appointment of Gregory Whitney. Councilor Tontar.
Yes.
Councilor Vogel.
Yes.
Councilor Z.
Yes.
Councilor Cameron.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Councilor Cronin.
Yes.
Councilor Devlin.
Yes.
Councilor Earls.
Yes.
Councilor Eigenman.
Yes.
Councilor Junta.
Yes.
Council President O'Brien.
With pleasure, yes.
That would be unanimous.
Move on to orders.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
This is the safest room in town.
Order number 31 is as follows. Would you like me to read it, Mr. President?
Yes, that's my,
Okay, whereas there are many trees in the city of Newburyport that have been removed without any replacement. Whereas trees enhance both the aesthetic and physical quality of our environment by modifying the local climate, reducing noise and air pollution, and by protecting soil and water. Whereas trees absorb water and release it into the atmosphere. The average tree breathes out approximately 250 to 400 gallons of water in one day. Trees also reduce flooding by intercepting approximately 1,000 gallons of water per year for a mature tree. Now therefore, the City Council hereby establishes the following policy. Whenever a tree is removed from public property, it shall be replaced with a tree of the same species or a species recommended by the tree warden. Submitted, Councilor Connell.
Mr. President?
what's the motion?
I move we refer to Neighborhood and City Services.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next order.
Order number 32. Whereas recognizing that residents and veterans of Newburyport have a reliance on the city for funding to keep and maintain this and many other parks and veterans memorials. Whereas further recognizing the contribution of veterans that have served in all branches of our armed forces, in conflicts and wars, large and small, some giving the ultimate sacrifice and the importance of remembrance of their sacrifice. And whereas recognizing these memorials require funding for maintenance, repair and improvement, now therefore the City Council hereby approves the following. 1, the existing brick and granite portion of Brown Square shall be known as Veterans Park at Brown Square. 2, the Newburyport Parks Commission through the Parks Conservatory and with the assistance of the Veterans Department may offer for sale personally engraved bricks to honor veterans. These bricks, available for purchase at $100 per brick, will replace existing brick and maintain the footprint of the existing red brick on the interior of the memorial. And lastly, proceeds from the purchase of these bricks shall be used to create and sustain a fund to maintain, repair, and improve veterans memorials throughout the city. Jointly submitted, Councilors Cronin and Junta.
Motion to refer to Neighborhood and City Services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Order 3, or 33, excuse me.
33 is the late file. That's a resolution adopting Merrimack Valley Region Multi-Hazardous Mitigation Plan Update 2016. It's submitted by Councilor Cronin. In pertinent part, the city prays that the hazardous plan is hereby adopted as the official plan. Future revisions and plan maintenance are hereby adopted as part of this resolution for a period of 5 years. And there's an accompanying 2 schematics. And there's also quite a large plan on file with the clerk's office, and I will send it out digitally to everyone.
Motion to refer to Planning and Development.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to ordinances.
Ordinance. Number 6. First ordinance is Chapter 5 Buildings, Article 4 Plumbing and Sheet Metal. Permit cost for sheet metal. Residential, these fees are $75, $30, $35, and $50 for inspection fees and reinspection fees. Commercial fees are $150, $30, $35, $10, and $300 for inspection, reinspection charges for each fixture. Submitted, Councilors Tantar and Vogel.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
This is to approve ordinance number 6. Councilor Tantar.
Yes.
Councilor Vogel.
Yes.
Councilor Zede.
Yes.
Councilor Cameron.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Councilor Cronin.
Yes.
Councilor Devlin.
Yes.
Councilor Earls.
Yes.
Councilor Agaman.
Yes.
Councilor Junta.
Yes.
Councilor O'Brien.
Yes. Ordinance 9.
Ordinance 9 is an amendment to the ordinance establishing the Commission on Diversity and Tolerance. In essence, it changes the name from Commission on Diversity and Tolerance to the Human Rights Commission. This is Section 2-125B. The only thing changed in that is the name from Diversity and Tolerance to the Human Rights Commission. It's submitted by Councilor Vogel. There is also, and importantly, there's a letter from Beth Horn to Councilor Vogel that is attached there too.
Motion to refer to Neighborhood and City Services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote. Move on to committee items. Budget and Finance.
Motion to remove order number 26, Halegraph Force Main loan order.
Second.
Motion,
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Could you read it?
This was considered by Budget and Finance Committee on Thursday night. We had Jamie Turkolo from the here to talk about this force main. The force main, for those who don't know, runs roughly from where the Comcast building is on Hale Street, from Hale Street toward Low Street, down Low Street in front of the middle school, across Route 1, and up Pond Street. The reason it's, I guess, the asbestos pipe that was put in there in the 70s had an estimated 30-year life, and it has lost its rounding, so it squished down, kind of oval. When that happens, and if it breaks, it can't be repaired. So this is viewed by the sewer department as being an urgent need. The bond orders for $2.7 million. The bid has come in around $2.5 million. That project alone is estimated to add approximately $2 a year to the sewer bill per household, and it's about $5 a quarter.
I thought it was 22?
22.
22.
Did I say that?
You said 2.
Two.
What's happening?
Wishful thinking. So the vote was unanimous, 3-0 to approve.
Make it a really big package. Flush twice.
We don't have the bond order here, do we? Do we have the bond order?
Right here.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
This is for the bond order 2.751. Councilor Tantar.
Yes.
Councilor Vogel.
Yes.
Councilor Zede.
Yes.
Councilor Cameron.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Councilor Cronin.
Yes.
Councilor Devlin.
Yes.
Councilor Earls.
Yes.
Councilor Eigenman.
Yes.
Councilor Junta.
Yes.
Council President O'Brien.
Yes. Anything else?
Move to remove order number 28, National Grid gift acceptance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Go ahead. Do we read it first?
That the City Council accepts with gratitude a gift from National Grid in the form of an outdoor water station valued at $2,198.17 to be installed at the Bradley Fuller Athletic Field in recognition of the recent energy efficiency work that took place in the city. The gift is accepted in accordance with 44 Section 53A and 1/2, submitted Councilor Tonto.
Go ahead.
Committee voted unanimously to accept this gift with gratitude.
Roll call.
This is on Order 28. Councilor Tantar.
Yes.
Councilor Vogel.
Yes.
Councilor Zede.
Yes.
Councilor Cameron.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Councilor Cronin.
Yes.
Councilor Devlin.
Yes.
Councilor Earls.
Yes.
Councilor Eigenman.
Yes.
Councilor Junta.
Yes.
Council President O'Brien.
Yes. Anything else?
Motion to remove Communication 41, annual audit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's it, Mr. President.
Okay. Ned?
Nothing to report.
License and permits?
Nothing to report.
Neighborhood and City Services?
Nothing to report.
Planning and Development?
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing will be coming out of committee, but we are having a joint meeting, joint hearing with the Planning Board on May 4th, which is a Wednesday at 7 o'clock, and I think it's 4 zoning items that are in committee will be discussed there. Thank you.
Public Safety?
Yes, Mr. President. Motion to remove communication number 40, the Jaipur P. Home Run Walk.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Second. Discussion?
Mr. President, this came out of committee 3-0. This is the 6th annual. All paperwork is in order, and we've had no complaints in the past about this this event. Actually, it's on the small side of scale, and we urge approval.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
Motion to remove communication 42.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Second. Can we read what it is, please?
Yes. This is the slow bike race, usually run in conjunction with Yankee Homecoming right out front of City Hall. Everything is in order. It's a very short event, and it has all its insurance and all paperwork's in order.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
Motion to remove order number 30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to approve.
What is it, please?
And this was a request by the Ward 2 councillor that he may address this a little more thoroughly than we did. This is to add resident parking to the southwesterly side of Liberty Street between Independence Street and Federal Street. This does not take parking away from businesses or residents. What it rather does is allows residents the opportunity to park a little longer term in that area that is designated as 2 hours. And it was a 3-0 vote, and I urge approval.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
That is all.
Thank you. Public Utilities?
Nothing tonight.
Rules Committee?
Nothing to report.
Go to the order.
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilor Collins?
Yes, I'd just like to remind members that there is going to be a meeting on the 18th of May. It's a morning meeting, so it's difficult for some of us to get to it. But it deals with some of the issues that the Resiliency Committee has been dealing with in a little more detail as we're starting to finalize recommendations for the city to prevent or at least mitigate some of the impacts of rising sea level and associated rising tides, particularly during storm events, and I would encourage you to join us on that date. Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me, what time is that?
The 18th is 9:30 in the morning at the Park River Wildlife Refuge at the headquarters.
Anything else? We'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Hey, that was quick.
Wow.